Since 1979, the Jetta has always been the Golf with more. A little more space, a little more sober, a little more money. But for 2011, it takes something of a left turn. Let's drive this new Jetta, see if that was actually the right turn, and check the tech. This is the car VW cannot screw up. The Jetta is their #1 seller in the US by far. 44% of all their business here. This 2011 is the 6th generation of the car, and for the first time, it's not mostly a butt graft on a Golf. The sheet metal is the headline, and especially from the front, it's now a stylish car and not just cute.
The Jetta cabin's going to still look familiar if you've been driving a 5th generation car. The materials seem to have been downgraded a bit. Everything up here is hard plastic, be it. But they brought the price down $1,300, so let's give them a little bit of slack. The head unit is significantly improved, thank God, because this was a disaster before. You have 6 fixed buttons on the side here for your basic functions, and you've got a touchscreen. Not a very big one, but a very responsive one. Even though this isn't hard drive based, it zips right along, better than some pricier cars. Let's start with the navigation system. Simple button right there to get to nav. The graphics are really quite clean and nicely rendered now. That's a big improvement from before. All the street names are very readable, I find. You do have different views, as you can see. I can go 2D north up, 2D, or 3D, as I've got enabled here. And entering a destination is not hard. Which brings us to this new rolly-scrolly thing that VW is doing in this interface. I'm not sure I'm sold on it, but you roll around to these different choices here. It's stylized for no particularly good reason, but I can live with it. By the way, on this car, they will tell you you shouldn't be entering things as you drive, but they let you do it. Kind of a nice hybrid. On the media front, we have a single optical disc slot here. Band brings us to radio. That, of course, will be AM, FM, no HD radio. Sirius is your satellite choice. Under media, this is where we get into our disc that's playing as well, but we can also switch around to go to the manual aux jack right here, the analog aux, which I've got a standard pigtail cable on. And taking a page from the Audi brethren, here's an SD card slot kind of hiding on the side. Don't see that in too many cars. There's a reason. MDI is kind of like AMI on the Audi front. It's a media interface. Mine's hooked up right now to our iPod Touch, but you could get others of these pigtails that go right in that little jack right there. So that's the proprietary end. You've got to go get one of these from the dealer that has what you want on the other end. I'm not big on that. Just give me aux and USB and make that USB real smart. And then there's Bluetooth streaming audio, because I do have my phone paired up. On this higher end head unit, we do get the Bluetooth streaming. If you had a standard rig at this SEL level, you'll just have Bluetooth hands-free. Transmissions, we have the 5-speed manual. That is your base gearbox. We'll try that on the road in just a few minutes. There will also be an automatic transmission available with a little sporty gate. But more importantly, some of these Jettas will get a DSG, a 6-speed dual-clutch automated manual. That's going to be, as I understand it, in the diesel or in the GLI, which is kind of the sporty car, but those aren't coming until later in the model year or 1 year further.
Among the ways VW brought this car's price down to do battle with Civic and Corolla was to include going back to hydraulic power steering from electric, to a live torsion bar rear suspension from fully independent, to drum brakes in the back instead of discs, to a simple stability control system that can't be adjusted or turned off, to that plastic dash we saw earlier, and the engine in our SEL is pretty much a straight carryover.
Now, if you know this engine from the 5th generation Jetta, you'll know it in this car. Pretty much unchanged, the 2.5-liter inline 5. Count them, 5 runners. Kind of an oddball in the auto business, even to this day. Does the job pretty well. 170 horsepower, 177 foot-pounds of torque. Mileage numbers aren't bad. It's 2333 with a manual, 2431 with an automatic. So kind of a mixed bag of where those go depending on your gearbox. In general, this engine's well proven, but does it handle with that German nimbleness in this new revised Jetta? One way to find out.
I used to love driving Jettas. I didn't love driving this one at all. The gearbox is okay. In fact, it's fine. It's a good shifting gearbox, a little long. The clutch, though, and the shift lever transmit a whole bunch of weird, crunchy vibration when you engage either. That's not pleasant. Handling remains good, although again, it feels like they've changed something. They've softened it up a little. The car's only 3 inches longer than the outgoing model. That doesn't make that big a difference. I can't imagine there's overhang that's causing it to wallow a bit. It's just a little bit less Golf feeling. I don't know if it's just engine mounting or the actual smoothness of the engine, but you don't really love revving this car. It makes kind of a grindy noise, and it sends some grindy vibrations through the gear shift. What the hell's that noise? There's another grindy noise I didn't even hear before till that corner. It's just kind of unrefined. Okay, let's price this 2011 Jetta SEL about $22,100 plus $750 destination. Just to go apples and oranges here, that's about $1,300 less than the previous year Jetta SEL. So that's quite a haircut on the MSRP. But of course, I showed you some of the reasons and the ways they did that. Now, options, a little fuzzy on the pricing still, so I'm going to leave that. We'll get back to you on that. This car is not even doing showrooms until October of 2010. There will be a gas engine now, diesel late 2010, GLI, which has the hotter motor, the DSG, the independent rear end in 2011, and a hybrid in 2012. Hey folks, Brian Cooley from CNET.com. Now when we check the performance of a piece of tech, we check the performance of a piece of tech. If you love videos of cars and all their high-tech and high-performance glory, check out the CNET CarTech video podcast, cnet.com/CarTechTV.